for one day, for shocking and...
Well, can I extend that to more than one day? Just think of the goals that went, own goals, Rob, goalkeeping mistakes, goals misses from 5 or 6 yards, hitting posts and not going in goals. I mean, it's been an incredible weekend. Every end of the table, whether you're top, middle, or bottom.
And us like to made look pretty foolish with predictions and what we expected.
This league makes a fool of everyone. Let's start off as the games kicked off this weekend. Let's start with Manchester City. Manchester City were at home to Luton Town. Now, if I'm right, I think Man City beat Luton 6-1 in the FA Cup. Earle and Haaland got 5 goals. It was a kind of game where you think, and I said before, I said after the game that in some respects it's a statement by City, although you expect them to win and not by the team, but the way that they go about their business. And it was 1-0 at half-time, an own goal, Hashioka scored off his face, and Earle and Haaland blast in his face that nearly took his head off, but ends up only 1-0 at half-time. Luton defending deep, as you'd expect, looking for the odd counter-attack that might come. Morris at the top end of the pitch. And at 1-0 at half-time, Rob, there's still work for City to do. And
didn't we say this last time?
It's still in the balance,
they don't play football. They don't play in the first half. They just play 45-minute games. And those games, 45 minutes in the second half, is another example where they play football, of course, and they were winning 1-0. Then they really step it up, go through the gears in the second half of games to win games quite easily. And listen, we're going to get to all the details and stuff, but when you see City winning games as easy as they do, and also, again, this is in that window where games going on at the same time. If you look at the lineup, Robert, and there was changes to Arsenal that we'll get to, and a little bit less so for Liverpool, isn't it still down to City's squad? Nobody can rest and rotate. Nobody can rest and rotate. Nobody can rest and rotate like City as if nothing's happened. It doesn't affect their game plan, doesn't affect their creativity, doesn't affect their goal-scoring ability. You look at again, they've got very few injuries. They rested Rodri, Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden.
Rodri got the rest,
and I know that these guys come on oftentimes, but, we'll get to Arsenal in terms of the changes that they made. But it still seems to me that this squad, with a massive caveat, a massive asterisk that it might have been illegally assembled.
Okay, yeah,
and I'll put that out there because I know a lot of our...
We have to put that out, and we continue, and that is the asterisk.
If it's a legally assembled squad, then things are going to change.
Find out that, and
we wish we knew.
But let's, stick to the football as we are now, on what we know. And I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to chuck an early challenging. That... Jeremy Doku, I saw Manchester City play recently. I was over in England, and I've got to be honest to you, mate. Jeremy Doku was not very good, if I'm being honest. He was running down cul-de-sacs.
Everybody has a bad game.
Correct, and I'm not saying, but he'd had a bad little period again. He'd had 2 or 3 bad games where you're starting to question, is this good? Yesterday against Luton, Rob, he was outstanding. Yeah, possibly the man of the match. He won a penalty, set up Guardiola, scores a beautiful goal. So, Guardiola's an interesting one. Scores against Real Madrid. No world beater, Rob. He's no world beater. He might not even get in there. But
he's a really good player.
He's a really good player. I'm not saying any of them are bad players, but any player who's playing in a Premier League team that's in the running is not a bad player. But what I'm trying to say to you, I don't think we give enough credit to just saying like, it's his squad. He's got the best players.
Yes. What are you saying? What's your point? What is your point to me saying that they haven't got the best? Said they got the best squad.
My point is that Curtis Jones has good days and is a good player. Harvey Elliott is. Right. Zoboszlai is, but
they're not as good.
They're not as good. Well, they've shown that for most of the season they could be as good. And so on one day when they have a good day, I don't think we can just... I think it's too easy a label to keep on going, well, he's got the best players, he's got they've spent the most money. Guardiola was available. Didn't see too many others buying him. Kovacic was available after Chelsea. Didn't see too many others going in.
I agree.
But we keep on saying, well, he's got the best players. It's easy.
Well, it's good recruitment then.
It's easy. Other teams have people coming in the team. Jesus comes into an Arsenal team who's an ex-Manchester City title winner and actually doesn't play that well. So he's a good player, but he doesn't play that well. I just think that sometimes we've got to give. You know what? There's more to that. He's a best player. There's more to that. Manchester City were 1-0 up at half time, and their football and their drive and their hunger to get the job done gives them a 5-goal win. That's a difference.
So you think it's not so much the squad is better than others or too much better than others.
Yeah.
It's the drive that they have.
Correct.
The experiences is from the manager.
Correct.
I mean,
the guy Rodri, remember, was felt so tired that he had to rest. This is the guy
and they change the team, Rob, and they win 5-1.
Yeah, I know, and that's down to them. That's down to them driving and keep on winning. Because they could have drawn that game 2-2, and guess what the players didn't say? Well, some of these players ain't as good as some of the others.
Yeah, but City so many times, Rob, get the results and they mix and trying to fight on the Champions League and the Premier League. The way that they can walk us on the bench.
I didn't see that drive from Liverpool. They weren't playing as well. I didn't see that drive from Arsenal second half. They didn't play that well. Whether they're tired, whether Europe, whatever. I didn't see that same drive that I see at Manchester City.
And there were some changes in Arsenal, which we'll get to. Yeah. There were some changes in there to try and maybe help that. City change things around. We don't even know from 1 week to the next, Rob, what the team's going to be.
I mean, Akanji was in midfield, Rob, and starting and play. He did the John Stones thing to this.
You know what's interesting? There's another little take on this, right? And we've heard this a lot. And for some situations, this is absolutely true. That goals win games, defence win championships. I don't know about that this season. I think it's goals and those who can score.
Can win games Liverpool should be.
Man City now have got the most goals scored in the league. Only by one, by Arsenal, but some good performances. But I feel like in the tight games, right, where, it's nervy, they need to win the game, Man City just create more. They've got more match winners when they really need it, and goal scorers. Earle Haaland's the best goal scorer in Europe in terms of the way that he finishes off chances. We'll get to the other teams again. Of course we will in the next two segments here. But their ability to take the chances, to not miss from 5 or 6 yards out that the other two teams did on this Super Sunday.
Aren't City a combination of both? I think I read a stat yesterday when we were doing that. The last 4 winners have either had the best defensive record or joint best defensive record in the league. So there's got to be an attention to that as well.
But don't you think, Rob, that that the scoring the goals and the multiple goals all the time is what wins the games? It's almost like if you're going to grind, if you've got great defensive record like Arsenal and you go to City and you get a point, and they didn't score again today. Well, not again. That's kind of harsh. I don't mean that. But they didn't score today. City's kind of continual goal threat and creativity and banging the goals in. They win the 3 points. They win 3 points.
They've got the guy at the top of the pitch who's got the most goals in the league.
Oh, so anyway, we thought we were going to be short on City, by the way. So, but no, it's impressive, Rob, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it is impressive, and they go pole position, mate. They go to pole position from third in the league, and we're not too sure. They go to pole. It's mid-April. It's when they do what they do, and do you know what? I think it's 9. We've had 19 changes at the top of the league. I'm not sure we're going to get another.
Well,
I'm not sure we're going to get another.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host for NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. And for even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock. And be sure to tune in for Premier League mornings every weekend on USA Network and on Peacock. We will see you there.